Hey, hey, everyone. It is Sunday, 4 o'clock. Yours truly, Dr. P, right here on the Be Inspired Lifestyle Show pop up on Facebook and Instagram and YouTube. Listen, everyone, I am going to give you an opportunity to come on in. It is Sunday. 4 o'clock, and it's time for us to pull up and have some conversation about getting you to unleash your creativity. So why don't you go ahead, like, share, invite a friend, and let me know where you are viewing from. Yes, let me know where you are viewing from, especially if it's your first time visiting. If you're new to the Be Inspired Lifestyle Show, listen, I want to tell you all about it. It is a platform to get you to unleash your God-given creativity. Yes, this is a platform that inspires, encourages, and really push you to move into your next place of greatness. So you're already great, right? But we want to make sure that you live out every dream that you have on the inside of you. And so what we're doing during the summer is hosting the summer series. Somebody type in the chat the summer series. Someone type in the chat summer series. And what the summer series is all about, we are bringing entrepreneurs onto the platform to be able to share their God-given creativity or how they started their business and why it's important to get those gifts and talents that you have on the inside of you out so that the entire world can experience what it is that's on the inside of you. So you are in for a treat today. I have a author joining us, but she's not just a regular author. I'm going to bring her out. Her name is Tiffany Obian. Tiffany Obian. Why don't you guys put some claps into the comment section? Hello, hello, hello,
Hello.
hello. So
Hello.
glad to have you. Listen, I
Yes,
first want to say thank you so much for agreeing to be here on the Be Inspired Lifestyle Show. And I also want to say thank you for sharing your gift with the world. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
thank you. Thank you for having me.
Oh, my pleasure. My pleasure. So before we jump into this, tell us just a little bit about Tiffany before she became this amazing author.
Awesome. Okay, so let's see how far back I want to go. I guess I'll go just right before 2020. So, prior to publishing my first book in August of 2020, I was just working. I am a lawyer by trade, and I work in the space of discrimination or
Oh,
anti
nice.
discrimination, shall I say. So, I work or at an institution where we work to prohibit discrimination, harassment, and employment and education. And so I was doing that, having a grand old time, and then the pandemic hit. And, time kind of slowed down. There was a lot of social unrest, and it
Yes,
was just like, what is life? What is
yes.
life as I go on my walks because we can't really do anything else because it was a shutdown. I had my son at the time, he was 4, and, I was married and I'm just sitting in the house working, going on walks. And I remembered that I had a manuscript that I had written probably 2 years prior, a draft manuscript. And my husband and my mom had always told me that I needed to like publish my book. And I'm like, it's not that easy, guys, to publish a book. But lo and behold, with the extra time, I was able to research how to publish a book independently. And then I went on to become a children's book author. So when I'm not
Wow.
lawyering, I am writing and publishing children's books.
Oh my goodness. I think that is amazing. So salute to you. And all I can think about is in the pandemic, parents are like, oh, these kids have got to find something to do. So creating books, games, or something definitely was a way to engage students during the pandemic. So again, thank you. I want to ask you a couple questions. It looks like you have graduated from just one book to multiple books,
Right.
and it seems like they're series. So talk about how that looks. I want to say there's a career series,
Yes.
maybe a season series. Let's
Yes.
talk about it.
Yes. So the very first book that I published was Andrew Learns About Actors, which is the blue cover over here. And again, I did not realize that I was going to be 20 plus books later,
Ooh.
but just publishing that first book was like a bucket list item. Me and my son love TV, we love film, we love reading. So to kind of put that all in one book where I could teach kids about the difference between characters and actors and also tell them they can be anything they want to be. So that's the goal of the career books, to educate the kids about different careers, but also let them know they can be anything they want to be or more than one thing. So did that first book. And then I went on to do Andrew Learns About Teachers in April of 2021. So we're still in a pandemic. My husband's an educator at the time. My mom's an educator at the time. I'm seeing them having to teach from their house.
I
My-
know.
it was crazy. So just seeing all the work they were putting in to make sure our kids were still learning, getting some type of learning, I said, you know what? I'm going to put out a book that's an ode to teachers. Because again, I'm a lawyer, so I've had a lot of teachers in my life. And so I said, I'm going to put out a book as an ode to teachers, as the unseen heroes, community heroes as
Yeah.
well. We were talking a lot about doctors and nurses, of course, and they are very important. But I was like, teachers are doing a lot and they need their, shine. So I put out Andrew Learns About Teachers, featuring a Black male teacher because I did not know a lot of Black male teachers, particularly in the lower level
Right.
grades. And so I wanted to kind of put that image out there. And again, let kids know that the people they see most of the time outside of their parents, the teachers, that's something they can aspire to be. And so I just continued creating and expanding on Andrew Learns About career book series as a good beginner career guide or resource for parents or adults to just educate kids about their possibilities. So right now we have Andrew Learns About lawyers, Andrew Learns About scientists, Andrew Learns About engineers, and I just put out 2 months ago, if that, no, last month, Andrew Learns About chefs. And so we're just continuing to expand. So that's the first series that I have. Then I have, go ahead.
How did Andrew become? And yeah, who is that? A
Oh,
nephew? Is
yes.
that how did Andrew become? Why
Andrew's my
Andrew?
son. He's my son.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Awesome.
So initially when I had wrote my manuscript 2+ years ago, or at the time 2+ years ago, I had like a random name, Tanner. It was like a girl named Tanner. But then again, because this was something I was doing partly inspired by my son, I was like, why not name it Andrew? And so he has his own series. He's my mascot. He has his own logo,
Oh,
as you see up
beautiful.
there. It's hard to do it, but that's his likeness on the books and in the logo and everything. So yes, in the
Okay.
interim, I did have a daughter. So people are like, well, where is she? And I'm like,
Okay. Before we go any further, because again, the Be Inspired Lifestyle Show is an empowerment platform to inspire. But I want the community to realize something, that Tiffany is actually creating generational wealth for her family as well, with Andrew, her son, the heir to this financial empire that she's building. And so not only is she creating something for him to grow and learn in, she's also building generational wealth. Yes, Tiffany?
And that's interesting that you pointed that out because my last name is my husband's last name, Obing, and he and I was deciding like, should I use my maiden name? Even though we had been married for probably about 6 years at the time, I was like, should I use my maiden name? Should I use his name? And so I went ahead and used his name, since I like to joke he was a silent investor in my first book,
Okay.
and it was a really good choice because it makes him, he's happy, he's very supportive anyway, but just to have his namesake on the books as well makes him feel a part of it, and we're just all in it together.
Yes, it's beautiful. So take notes, those inspiring entrepreneurs out there. And if you are not, and you are a family leader, mother, father, what ways are you creating generational wealth for your family? What legacy are you leaving? When you do this, you work a job. I strongly support that you work a job, but also have some type of entrepreneur endeavor as well. One, it releases your creativity, it releases your purpose in the earth if you're not working in that. And then it gives you a sense of belonging, a sense of purpose, and to create money and wealth, you hitting the jackpot. So everyone that's listening or that'll come back and listen, please, 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 if you haven't started, begin to create generational wealth or streams of income for your children and their children, something that they can be proud of. All right. let's talk a little bit more about your books. And the one that I ordered was about Sammy and Samantha. Let's talk about Sammy and Samantha.
So Sammy and Samantha. So Sammy the good sport, and then it's the girl version, Samantha the good sport. And so I was kind of playing around with that one as far as making a girl version. So as you were talking about purpose, it reminded me of one of the main reasons why I write children's books. So the books feature the Andrew career book series feature my son Andrew, and I wasn't thinking much of it. It was like, oh, it's Andrew. I didn't think about, oh, he's a Black boy gracing the covers and being featured in children's books until after I put out the second one. Andrew learns about teachers, and so now I guess I'm becoming more into the world of publishing and
Yeah.
realizing that there's a severe lack of diversity in publishing. So you really don't have Black characters in children's books, and you definitely don't have Black boy characters in children's books. And so I publish a lot of books because they're inspired by my son, but I make sure that they feature Black boy characters. So a lot of times people come up to me and
Nice.
say, oh, where's your girl books? And I'm like, well, the books are for everybody, because and by that I mean like a girl or a boy.
Right.
There's privileges that exist in children's books. So like if you have a book that features a white main character, it's for everybody to read. But if you have a book that features a Black main character, then it's for Black people to read. And if you have a book that features a Black boy character, then it's just for Black boys. And so I want to highlight that issue in children's books and make sure that everybody's reading books that feature whoever, just because the topics are universal. Like all my books, minus 2 of them, have universal topics: careers, seasons, and the good sport. So Sammy the good sport, I was like, okay, let me try to do a girl version of a book and see what happens. Since people say, oh,
Right.
where's your girl books? And so I wanted to, my son really sucks at losing. And not being number one and things like that. And so I wanted to find a way to educate kids about being a good sport and what that looks like and what it doesn't look like and what it does look like. And so the dedicatory page or dedication page says, for me, like, it's not about if you win or lose, it's about how you win or lose.
That's
And
good.
so that's just really what it is. And it's a good book, especially for summertime. A lot of sports leagues buy that book. And what's funny is the girl book does not sell as well as the boy book. And I say, look,
Really?
I've been asking for this girl book and I give y'all a girl book. And my husband thinks it's because sports. So it's called the good sport. So you automatically think it's about athletics. It's about
Right.
sports. And
Right.
it's just about character. It's character building. And so he's like, well, a lot of girls, they don't push sports amongst girls. And I say, you're right, unfortunately. You're right, unfortunately. So yeah,
Right.
I think that's partly the reason why.
But it's okay. I think what
Oh,
you're
yeah.
doing is you're really Be Inspired Lifestyle Show community. What you see here is Tiffany is really sharing a message of character building, sharing a message of diversity and inclusion, sharing a message of generational wealth. So it's not one dimensional in what she's doing. She is covering a lot of areas to be inclusive and creating hope for her family in terms of wealth. So talk a little bit more about where we can find all of these books and how Sugar Cookie
Cookie.
came to be. That's an interesting name. How did you get that name?
Yes. So Sugar Cookie Books. Again, I'll mention my husband. So again, I was just trying to put out this one book. Andrew learns about actors. And I was like, hey, you think I should have like a publishing imprint or what? And he was like, yeah, because you're gonna have all these books. I'm like, slow down. I'm just gonna have this one
Right.
book. I don't know if I need to like build out this whole company or business. And he was like, nah, you're gonna want to do that. So go ahead and set up, like, get you a name. So as I'm brainstorming names, I remembered I had like trademarking for dummies or something like that. So I'm
Okay.
reading through the trademark for dummies, trying to think of names. I had like Storytime Publishing, but then they gave examples of, if you want to try to trademark a business name, it has to have these different elements or qualifiers. And so as I'm looking at Apple computers as an example of what they're saying, I was like, oh, I could kind of go with food. So I started thinking of like different foods. And then I thought of I thought of a cookies, thought of cookies because I'm like, everybody loves cookies, right? Everybody loves chocolate chip cookies, especially any age, across generations. It's a
Yes.
staple when you go to parties or events, wherever you go, there's going to be a cookie, and it's most likely going to be a chocolate chip cookie.
Yep.
And maybe secondary would be a sugar cookie. I am a sugar cookie fan. So that's why we didn't end up with chocolate chip because I don't really prefer chocolate chip. And so I was like, that would be so cute because one, is unique. Two, is classic. It's timeless. When you think of a sugar cookie, you think of good things. You think of
Yes.
family. You think of gathering. It's just really good. And then you slap on books at the end, and that's how we got sugar cookie books.
Oh, wow. Wow. Listen to all this creativity, everyone. I first of all had no idea that all of that was inside of you. I want to digress just a second, everyone. I met Tiffany at the Juneteenth market where there were lots of vendors and she was very friendly. And the book illustrator, whoever that is, you can talk about that in just a moment. It caught my eye and I thought, oh my goodness, this is wonderful. And something about your display let me know that you were an attorney as well. So it caught my attention as to, well, let's see what's going on. So that's how I met her. She was vending at the Juneteenth market and she had her books there and they caught my attention. And so let's talk about your illustrator.
Yes. So I have a lot of them. So when you
Okay.
have 20 plus books, it gives you the freedom, if you will, to explore different styles and different illustrators. So with my Andrew books, I have like a crayon type
Yeah.
style, which I really love and adore. And then as I started venturing out to different series, I was like, well, let me try a comic book. And so I had like Scouts Honor that kind of looks like a comic book style. And then with the seasons books, I
Love
say, you
it.
know what? I came across an illustrator and I loved her paint technique. It almost looked like paint. So I was like, oh my gosh, I would love that. And so got to play with that. And then Sammy the Good Sport and Samantha the Good Sport is my boy, Iris Aruman. Oh my gosh, he is so talented. So I first worked with him with Black Boy Hair Joy.
Oh
And I
yes.
loved what he did with Black Boy Hair Joy as far as the character designs, because with that, I wanted the kids in that book, because it's a self-love book for boys, hair love book for boys, black boys. And so I wanted the characters, the black boys in there, to look like people. But I also still wanted them to be illustrations. So I didn't want it too realistic, but I wanted it to look
Nice.
like people. And the hairstyles were very specific. So I wanted to be able to capture the different hairstyles. Like, it was serious business, but still very approachable and relatable for young kids. And so I found Iris Araman, and he did a phenomenal job. Oh my gosh. And his covers are so amazing. And so when I thought of Sammy the Good Sport and Samantha the Good Sport, I was like, oh, I want, again, like these beautiful characters. And he's so good with character design. He has like 20 different characters in each book, and they all look different, and their hairstyles are all different. Even I didn't ask him about hairstyles because it's not a hairstyle book, but he's just really phenomenal. And I'm working with him again, actually, on a chapter book. So I'm excited.
Oh my goodness. Do you have that book where you could show it to us up
Which
close?
one?
The one with the hair.
Okay. Black Boy Hair Joy.
Yes, Black Boy Hair Joy.
Let me try to
So
reach it.
while she's no, while she's getting that, everyone, do you hear the excitement that she has about the gift that
Here we
she's sharing with us? It's like a passion is coming through to me. Like this lady is Tiffany is thrilled about the work that she's doing. Okay,
go.
let's see. Can
And
you
now I
guys
got a
see it?
background on, so it's kind of hard.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, you
Well,
can see a little bit.
you can
But
see
yeah,
it a little bit.
yeah.
Everyone, this is what we want you to do. You have nieces, nephews, the holidays are coming up, birthdays are coming up. She's on Amazon and she's showing us the different pictures here. This is what I would like to ask. She doesn't know that I'm asking this. If you know a niece, a nephew, or someone that's having a birthday, could it be that you give one of these books to them as a birthday gift to introduce um this message of hope that she has or inspiration? You can just buy it on Amazon and send it to their address. You can do that this full year for all of your nieces and nephews and cousins and grandchildren that you have. Let's support Tiffany in the work that she's doing. All right. Can you tell us, Tiffany, where we can find your books. I know you're on Amazon. Are you in Barnes and Nobles yet? Are you in Target yet?
So I'm on barnesandnoble.com.
Yay!
I I think I do still have some books on target.com. So you can find me on major online retailers. So barnesandnoble.com, amazon.com, booksmillion.com, target.com, walmart.com, on and on and on. You can
Listen.
also just go to sugarcookiebooks.com and find all my offerings there as well.
Oh my goodness, this is wonderful. Like, you kind of inspired me a little bit more than I thought. I knew I would enjoy this, but the business part is really inspirational. I want you guys to take note that Tiffany, and I think this is probably the lawyer in her, she went all out. She's not just on Amazon. In every market possible, like a lot of them, she's have made herself available to be accessible so you guys can get the work. And I also noticed that we can download these books on Kindle.
Yes, you definitely
This
can.
is sophisticated, everybody, because if you say, well, I want to read to my grandson right now, I don't have time for the books to come in, you can just download it on Kindle. And if you
Yep.
have the Kindle app thingy or whatever, I want to say it's not a cost. I don't know, how does that work, Tiffany?
What, downloading a book?
On Kindle.
Yeah, you just, pay for it and it downloads.
So there
You
you
buy
go,
the ebook and
everyone.
it downloads, and then you access it in your Kindle library. Yeah.
There you go. So you don't have to wait if you want to do something right away. How many of you enjoyed hearing this very creative way of getting the gift and talent that's on the inside of you out? Come on, put some hand claps in the comment section. If you would please share this on your timeline, tag someone, and add someone's name on here that have children that would benefit or be blessed by what she has. Now, are there any final thoughts or comments that you'd like to share?
Um, just kind of going with your theme of inspiring. So, and I don't mean this as a brag or anything, but when I first started, as I keep saying, it was just doing a bucket list item, doing something with my son, doing something for family, as you mentioned. And then I saw that I was able to do something as far as the lack of diversity in children picture books. And I decided I will do something. And so that's how we ended up with 20 plus books. But I never expected that my books would land on book lists. So Scouts Honor has been on Book Riot. Spencer Knows Spring has been a Yahoo Best Product for spring books, obviously. Andrew Learns About Engineers has been named the best children's book for engineering by Thomas Industries. It has been an Amazon bestseller in children's books for engineering a number of times. And I even recently this year was like the Black History change maker because of my work with Andrew Learns About Engineers and Andrew Learns About Scientists, recognized by National Society of Black Engineers. And I'm like, what? Like, are you
What?
serious? Are you serious?
What?
And so I felt
What?
like an imposter. Well, I always feel like an imposter. You have imposter syndrome. Even though I'm 20 plus books in, anytime I put out a book, I always be like, oh my gosh, can I do this? But being that I'm a lawyer and then I'm trying to educate about other fields, kind of makes me feel like, do I know what I'm like? Who are you to listen to me about what your field is? So to get that recognition, like, no, you got it right, girl, is monumental. So if I hadn't started, I wouldn't be, making those differences and, diversifying bookshelves and things of that sort.
This is amazing. Like, I am overjoyed even more so now. Everybody, there's a little thing out there on social media say, I don't want to toot my horn, but toot toot. So I'm gonna do it for Tiffany. Tiffany don't want to toot her own horn, but toot toot. This is amazing. This is honorable. She's making a big difference. Guys, we want to rally around people who are making an imprint in the earth. And so that's actually what this is all about as we bring this to a close. I want to say I've had some deep thoughts over the last couple days, and I want to leave with you all. If you're alive and you're still breathing and you have health and strength and you have anything to offer, I want to urge you to put it out, whatever it is, because Tiffany is proof that something she thought was going to be one book, something very small, has turned into 20 plus books later. Number one seller on Amazon, awards by the engineering industry, and more importantly, she's doing what she's created to do in one area of her life. Isn't that amazing?
Yes, it is. Look, I'm like,
So
yes, it is.
Yes. So I am very happy for you. So everyone, do you have a website? I think it's
Of course.
go ahead.
www.sugarcookiebooks.com. So the sugar cookie books, books.com.
Very good. And last thing, if I wanted to publish a book and anyone out there, could they reach out to you and could you help them publish a book?
Yeah, so on the website, there is a contact page that has the services that I offer. So we have like do it yourself, where I will just offer coaching services. Like you want to learn it so you can do it on and on and on forever and ever. Then I offer those coaching services. Or if you like, nah, girl, just take my manuscript and make it into a book that I can sell, then I offer those as well.
Wow, you've made my day. So again, thank you so very much, everyone. You have the ways to reach out to her. Please support. And again, thank you so much. Miss Tiffany, I'm gonna take you out and say goodbye to our there you go. I'm gonna take her out for a second. Listen, everyone, was that not good? That was really good. A lot of times we want fashion and we want makeup and all that stuff is great and wonderful. But again, I really want you to find out what it is that's on the inside of you and get it out. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be you don't have to have all the funding for it. Just begin to move. And you see, after one book, she's gone to all these other spaces. The thing that's most important is you can feel Tiffany's heart. So as long as you put your heart in it, you do your best, I believe you're on your way to success. All right, everybody. Next week is our last week of the summer series. You guys don't want to miss it. We have an amazing entrepreneur that's coming. So pay attention to the website, and we will see you next week for our final summer series right here on the Be Inspired Lifestyle Show. Bye bye. I love you guys.